So I'm Stephen and this is Dorothy, and this is part of our adoption story.
After we had had kids, we had thought we were done with babies. We got rid of all our baby stuff and had talked about adoption more abstractly, like one day we'll probably adopt and it'll be a toddler or an older child. And
then in January of 2015, we went to adoption informational night at the church, and
we left a bit scared at what adoption can look like, but also excited because we just felt a stirring in us that this was something that God was calling us to.
Like I remember our girls were outside after church playing, and Dorothy and I were in the kitchen, and we were getting lunch ready, just a normal day, just like everybody. And Dorothy and I were talking about adoption, and we didn't say anything to our girls. And so then our conversation ended, and our girls were outside. They didn't hear anything about the conversation. And then our 3-year-old, she came in and singing the song, "I'm Adopted," and by Slugs and Bugs.
The song is about how God has adopted us as His children, and we just felt like God was confirming what He had told me in church that day, that He has adopted us into His family, and He is calling our family to adopt a child.
About 3 months later, we finished the entire process of found the agency, did all the process you have to do through adoption, and background checks and all that stuff. So it takes a little while to do that, but we got it done pretty quick. And
we thought that with all of that happening so quickly, that a baby would come quickly too. It ended up taking longer than we expected, quite a bit longer.
Time just started to drag on and get longer, and we know that the process is different for everybody. But for our process, we were kind of starting to question, like, what's going on?
Our wait time ended up being about 16 months, which again in the adoption world isn't really that long, but when your heart is waiting, it feels like forever.
Then everything happened in October, and so it was a year ago today so we were going in to meet with our e-group and talk with our e-group, and all of a sudden we get a call from our agency, the adoption agency, and the agency says, "Hey, there's a birth mom that just walked into the hospital. She just had a child today, and yeah, are you open to this process?"
It was crazy to go from waiting to all of a sudden, there's a baby already here.
We tell the agency yeah, let's continue to pursue this.
And Sunday about 4 o'clock, we got a call from our caseworker at our agency, and she just said, "The birth mom picked you." I remember being on the phone with her and just not even having words.
We got in the car and drove to Missouri and picked up Josiah. And then the birth mom actually wanted to meet with us too, and so we sat down over lunch and met with her and talked with her.
She had given him a name on his birth certificate when she had him. Some birth moms do and some don't, so it just depends. And
I tell the birth mom, I said, "You know, the middle name that you gave the child, Josiah," I said, that middle name's a family name. So Josiah and I have the exact same middle name. So it's Josiah Lee Wright and Stephen Lee Wright.
We wanted to keep that for him as a link for him, so he would have that connection between his birth family and his adopted family, and it just to see God work even through the littlest detail of a middle name. We just knew. We knew that the waiting was specifically for this boy.
And then we came back, and it's been amazing.
We were very content and happy with where we were, but what we would have missed out on would have been huge.
But the whole lesson, I think, through that that journey is God is so faithful, and God speaks so loud when you listen.